document those things.
Let's say pretty girls. Alright.
What's up, people? Now here you go. The man, the legend. We are live right here on the block. Where we at? This is 89th and Blackstone.
89th and Blackstone.
89th and Blackstone, right here in my man J.M Silk Hurley's hood. You wanted it. Wanted to bring you closer to everybody. Here you go.
Man, I grew up here my whole life, basically. This is my block. We play football on the street, play basketball at the garage, on my garage. Man, all kinds of stuff, man. I grew up listening to music and really loved being the person at the picnic with the ghetto blaster. Man, it was just always music for me. Always about music.
Now let me ask you, with music being a gigantic influence, I mean, how about your parents? Were they very receptive to you taking, music? How most parents want you to be doctors and lawyers and stuff like that. I mean, were they like, our son's about to be a producer or a DJ? Like, how did they feel about it?
Well, early on, they were receptive to the fact that I like to get on a piano and try to pick songs out on the piano and stuff like that. So they put me in piano lessons, but what they found out was that I was lazy and didn't want to practice and didn't want to learn Mozart and Beethoven and all that stuff. So I was terrible when it came to those recitals. I had a few embarrassing recitals. One where I was like playing with this other kid. He's jamming. He was carrying me the whole way, man. I was missing so many notes, but nobody noticed it. But basically, that whole formal thing just wasn't for me. It was more so about playing the music that I heard on the radio. All my influences, like Shaka Khan and Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, all kinds of different people that I grew up listening to.
Yo, it's the boy Dre Bell here, chilling at the Congress, Chicago. Got my boy Silk, got my boy Skip. It's mad popping right now. If you ain't hear it, you whack as hell.
I saw somebody mix 2 records before, and I was like, how did they do that? And it just made me want to learn how to do that. So when I started making that transition to wanting to be a DJ, my father wasn't too crazy about that, because being a DJ meant you had to DJ at what he called public parties. You're not going to any public. First of all, I wasn't going to any public parties. Second of all, I definitely wasn't DJing no public parties, because that means I had to stay till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Right.
So it was a constant battle with that, because I was so focused. I'd be in the basement practicing all my tricks so that I could get an opportunity to be in a DJ battle, to get an opportunity to spin at the clubs. I spent my whole day doing that, so I wasn't doing my homework the way I was supposed to. So I was really like focused on the music aspect of everything, as opposed to the DJ aspect. I was on the DJing aspect as opposed to the school aspect. So I was always in trouble, always on punishment for not getting some homework done or doing bad on a test. Although I was smart, I wasn't using my smarts for school. I was basically putting all my energy into my craft and learning how to be a DJ.
Hardest working man in radio. That's me. This is the hardest. You have to go up. The hardest working man in radio. The Fly Jock Tom Joyner. And you're watching Chicago LP DVD. On the Tom Joyner Morning Show, twice a week, we do the old school, new school remixes from J.M Silk Hurley. And what we do is we do just that. We marry old school with new school. Current songs with old songs. And how he comes up with these combinations of songs. What goes on in his bald head. It's just amazing to me that he can match a Sam Cooke with Kanye West. Or an Anita Ward with Sierra. It is one of the most listened to features on the TJMS. The old school, new school remixes from J.M Silk Hurley.
Because the most important thing, Steve, for me, is I want to educate people about our business, because it's called the music business, not the music. And the direction that we're going in, everything is like downloads now. A lot of record stores are starting to close down because people are not buying enough wax. Everything is downloads now. We must keep keep up with the technology. And what I respect and love about you is that every new technology or piece of equipment that comes out, you explore it, you educate yourself about it to see if it can be beneficial to your career.
I mean, luckily I have a lot of young guys around me too that have that passion for the technology too, so that kind of rubs off on me. I mean, like even Brazil on the video side, you know, the stuff that he does, that inspires me to stay fresh too.
Brazil is operating the camera.
Yeah.
They don't know Brazil.
That's Brazil right there. That's Brazil right there. Well, I never really looked at myself like that. I've always just tried to do my best at everything I do. Like, it all started when I wanted to be the best DJ. So that's why I was in the basement practicing. And I just tried to hone my skills and get to the point where I could win that first DJ battle. Because that's how I got on as a producer, is by winning DJ battles. And that's how I got on as a DJ, was to win DJ battles. And I got the opportunity to spin at the clubs. Then from that, I got on the radio spinning. And then from that, I started making my own music to play and decided to start putting it out. And that's when I became a producer. I didn't have aspirations to become a producer or anything like that. I just wanted to be the best DJ I could. And when I started messing around with like the Boss Dr. Rhythm drum machine and the Korg Poly 800, making my own bass lines and stuff, that's when I started moving in a different direction and wanting to be a producer as opposed to just a DJ. And it was always a struggle for me because I always wanted a new radio that had a cassette recorder on it, and I had to I worked the paper route and saved up money to buy a radio. I mean, everything that I ever got, I could say I earned it. I worked some kind of job or did something, and my father made me pay for stuff. He didn't give me stuff as much as he just gave me the values. Him and my mom, they just gave me values, but they encouraged me to work hard to get the things that I wanted. Like, I didn't say, oh, I want a radio, and he'd just buy it for me. It wasn't like that. It was like, okay, you have a paper route, start saving your money. So I bought a radio. Then next thing you know, I wanted to be the DJ, so I bought a mixer and was trying to mix my brother had one of those turntables with the record changers on it, and I found a way to hook that up to the mixer. Then he had like a little portable voice recorder. I recorded some music onto that and tried to mix the two together, and he had like a little button that you push on this thing. I was just trying to find any way to mix. So eventually I saved up enough money to buy some belt drive turntables, and I bought a Gemini mixer, which was, you know, still bottom of the line back then. I don't know how it is now, but it was bottom of the line. It was like what I could afford. And then I actually took a carpentry class so I could learn how to build a DJ case, and built my own DJ case. But I didn't have a car, so one of my boys, Eric Taylor, who lived down the street, he used to drive me to all the gigs. And we became friends through that because, you know, he used to practice DJing at my house. I'd practice at his house. And he was like my little protege, and he was also my driver, basically, because I didn't have no car. Well, you know, you and I were talking about just doing a project, you know, because we've been hanging out, shooting ball together, and just, you know, hanging out on some real stuff. And we said, let's do a project together, and we talked about just pulling together a few DJs from Chicago, and like maybe 10 or 12 guys, some pioneers, some new school cats. And now it's grown to the point where we got like at least like 25 DJs on this project, maybe more, and different artists singing on it. I mean, it started out just being basically a record to pay tribute to the Chicago scene and to show that we can work together and do things as a unit, as opposed to everybody out there who has their own success. Like, you got your success, I got mine, Farley's got his success, Maurice has won the Grammy last year, and you got DJ Pierre, and you got Marshall Jefferson, and all these different people, Terry Hunter. Everybody's got their fan base, and everybody's doing their own thing, and everybody's just basically hustling, but we've never been able to work together. And now finally there's a platform for everybody to be on the same album, from the same city, from the same scene. We all have a lot in common. We all came from the Chicago scene, and we're all from Chicago, but we've never worked together before. So now at this point, we've been able to come together. We've gone to everybody's neighborhood, as many people as we could catch up with, because, you know, these guys are like superstars. They're out of the country every week, just like you.
All right, we're sitting here right now with the next generation, B. Loren. Now, first of all, you saw earlier in the DVD, you had Ricky Bradshaw and Sean Christopher, a son-mother combination. Right now, you have a father-daughter combination. This is definitely a vintage moment, and it's something for Steve Silk Hurley to be proud of, something for B. Loren to be proud of. A lot of people don't know who B. Loren is. What we want to do is introduce her.
I started out like when I was about 3, because I grew up around my dad, who was always doing music, and always around artists such as CeCe Peniston, Chantay Savage, and I've always just like loved singing, and I would stay up in my room all the time writing, and I don't know, I'm just in love with it. Whenever I like feel something, then that's just where I put my words down. And like if I'm going through something like a breakup or having a bad day, or even if I'm like, if it's a good day, I just always like to write down my emotions and what I'm feeling.
What brings you to your ultimate peak of writing?
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter where I am. If I get an idea, then I'm right there with my recorder, my pen and paper, and like I just always want to get my ideas down. I could be in my room and with a crowd of people anywhere. Well, my dad, one day he came in my room, told me he had a bunch of house tracks. I was like, house, okay. I mean, I decided I could try something different, so he gave me the tracks and I listened to them, and this one track kind of stood out for me. And then like I came up with the words, I came up with the hook, and then I showed my dad, he was feeling it, so he wrote some verses and just all came together.
There's a lot of people think because of Steve's legacy that he can make anybody sound good, you know, in the studio, which is the case nowadays, people. We can make the worst people sound good. Right. But I mean, we just want you, I mean, if possible, if you can sing a little bit of something from the album, maybe even the song that was produced by your dad, Steve Silk Hurley, as well as Marshall Jefferson. You know, that way people can see that this is not a gimmick, this is not a fluke. And I mean, if she's doing something like this from a dance music standpoint, imagine how it's going to be with her R&B album, which is something you definitely want to look out for coming out soon, because trust me, this is definitely the future and she is the truth. Let's just get it straight for the record, people. She's an R&B singer, and what she's done, this is just showing her versatility. She wanted to cross the lines and show people that she's more than just that average R&B singer. She can do music all across the board, so that's why she got on this project with Steve Silk Hurley as well as Marshall Jefferson. And that's why we want you to sing, because we don't want people to think that this is some sort of a gimmick, you know, because what they're gonna do, they'll check Steve's resume and they'll say, oh, he made his daughter sound like that. She really can't sing. How many people have you ran into, or how many artists have you seen perform live and they really didn't do it for you live, but you know, the CD was hot? You know, so just go ahead and sing a little bit for them and just let them know that you really do get down.
See, a long time ago, you were everything to me, but I found something else that I thought would set me free. See, I was lost in a world I couldn't escape, but I found my way back. Never again will I run away.
Don't even give them no more. Don't even give them no more. See, people, step your game up.
You know, I try to stay close to home, but you know, that's gonna change when this tour kicks off.
Look out for the tour.
Look out for the tour.
Look out for the tour. It's going down. Now, with saying that, I mean, enlighten them on the tour, Steve. I mean, because a lot of people that they haven't seen you perform, you know, in a group atmosphere in a long time. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't seen you actually in a structured setting type situation. So I mean, can you like elaborate a little bit and tell them like what they can expect on the tour, and you know, if they should you know, get their tickets early and call some people and try to put their bid in early, because
it's gonna be crazy, because you got people that haven't, like myself, I haven't really been to Europe in a few years, because I've been kind of busy with all the different projects that I've been doing production-wise, and of course the last year and a half we've been working on this, so I haven't really traveled much, because I got a radio show on Tom Joyner. I got a lot of other responsibilities, the music I do for the Oprah show and stuff like that, so I have to keep that going. So I haven't really had much time to do a lot of touring. Every once in a while I go to Australia, or I go to Italy, or something like that. But I haven't, for the most part, really gone out, and I'm like really excited about getting back out there again with some of the people like yourself and Terry Hunter and people that are out there all the time. So you're gonna get a little bit of everybody. You're gonna get some old school guys, some new school. You're gonna get Paul Johnson. I mean, it's crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, just the lineup is gonna be so diverse. You got Bad Boy Bill, who's, you know, Bad Boy Bill, I think, was named #1 DJ of the world or something a few years ago. I mean, all these people that have success in their own right have basically humbled themselves to come together to do this project, because it's all about Chicago. I mean, it's the Chicago LP, and we showing love to each other, we're showing love to Chicago, and we're showing love to house music and the people internationally that made house music happen. We just want to show appreciation for that and give you a project that's something that you'll want to play 20 years from now. You'll still want to play it. You'll still want to play the DVD. You'll still want to play the music, because we got people in here coming with classics. I mean, like, a lot of people ask me, how did I get a Michael Jackson remix or something like that? Like, it's like people think I just got put on, but everything that I did was a struggle, and it was a step-by-step process. You know, I had to win the DJ battle to get put on as a DJ. Had to have a record that was doing well to get the record deal with RCA Records. Had to produce. I started doing remixes for the artists that were on independent labels first, and next thing you know, then Roberta Flack and 10 City and Prince and Michael Jackson and R. Kelly. I started getting those mixes. Those things didn't just happen overnight. It's like I just continued to work hard at what I was doing in the studio and get better at what I did and be better than the last record. Kind of like what you said about not being in competition with someone else, but being in competition with myself, where I'm like, I got to do better this next time. I got to top Jack Your Body. I still haven't topped Jack Your Body because it was like a record that was, for that time, it was something that hadn't been done. It was a whole different style, and it represented house music to the fullest at a time when house music was just exploding in London. You know what I'm saying? So I'll probably never top that, but I can do records that I feel are sonically better. I can do records that musically are better. You know what I'm saying? I can always challenge myself to be a better producer, to have a better vocalist, to do something spectacular that I haven't done, use a different sound that I haven't used before. I'm always inspired to try to take it to the next level.
Now, what do you say to up-and-coming DJs and up-and-coming producers that's trying to get in? You got a lot of people that are watching this that are probably inspired by a lot of our stories, you know. So, I mean, what do you say to them? You know, people that's just sitting there figuring, man, I can do this. You know, I see these guys. You know, I see what they doing. Like, I mean, what do you tell the world and to the aspiring artists and producers and DJs that's just trying to, you know, break into the scene and be a part of this whole dance music culture?
I think what you have to do is you have to have kind of the things that I have had through my career and the things that you've had through your career. You need, not that you didn't work hard, but my focus was always quality, not quantity, and work hard and earn it, and don't even toot your own horn. Whereas your focus was toot your horn first and get in there, get in the game, and eventually I'll be good enough to make it happen. Like, I'll hustle my way in. If you have both of those things all in one person, you dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've actually learned through this process of doing this record, is that it is about promotion. The reason why I have had success is not just because I worked hard, it's because somebody believed in my product enough to market and promote it. If I didn't have that, then I would not have any success. I'd just be still doing the tracks in my basement. So you have to have both sides. People have to like you in order to want to help you. I think that's what I had in to my advantage. Like, I wasn't the marketer and promoter, but I was a likable person, and I got to know people. I was nice to people, and they wanted to help me. And eventually I got put in a situation where my music was being marketed and promoted. Whereas this guy here just took raw talent and the marketing and promotion that he did. He had the opportunity before he even knew how to DJ. He had people putting him on the tables. Look at my story. I had the talent and nobody would give me the opportunity. So it was like, if you was born a few years earlier, I'm not gonna say how many. I don't want to know how much older I am than you, but if we was born around the same time and we was buddies, we would have been like the Jam and Lewis. But it ain't too late.